I just had a few questions about how this would work, particularly with regard to 14227A, driving under the influence. So usually when somebody's arrested the first time, they take a diversionary program, alcohol education course, case is dismissed. Let's say they're arrested 3 years later for the same thing, and there's a conviction. Usually there isn't jail time tied to that. And then I would expect under this language, should it pass, 3 years after that, the case would be erased. If the individual is then arrested thereafter, let's say just outside of the 3 years, how is that to be treated? Is that and convicted? Is that a second conviction, or is it a first conviction to you, Mr. Chairman?
If the erasure has already happened, there would be no first conviction to look at, so it would be treated as a first conviction.
So that's a little troubling in that presently it's a, not aggravated, but it's an increased penalty for the second conviction should it happen within a 10-year period. So I guess, has the Mothers Against Drunk Driving been informed that this is going on, and have we gotten information about their position on this bill to you, Mr. Chairman?
I didn't call Mothers Against Drunk Driving. The information is as we do with all bills. I have not heard I haven't had correspondence with them on this particular bill. But I would also say that it is possible under the system that we currently have that someone gets a pardon, and when they get a pardon, they have a record in which they don't have an offense anymore. So it is something to consider, but it's part of the totality of what we're looking at here today.
Yeah, and as pointed out, you know, this is sort of like circumventing the pardon process. But I just had another area of inquiry, and particularly you had pointed out lines 88 through 90, that the erasure shall not happen if there's pending charges or an open criminal case in any jurisdiction. So can you just tell me how is one to ascertain, are we going to use the fingerprints that were used in the original conviction to inquire of, I guess, all 50 states? Is that what we're talking about doing? I'm just trying to figure out how that works. To you, Mr. Chairman.
So, give me a moment. Representative Fishbien, so I would say to you that, as you may already know, this language is new today, so we are still trying to get it perfect. But I think we are intending to look at the courts that are here in the state that we have knowledge of, and I think going forward, regardless of your position on the bill, we are open to listening to things that make this bill better in the eyes of all members of the General Assembly.
Well, I thank you for that. I understand work in progress. Just concerned that, you know, it does say in any jurisdiction, which would be usually regularly interpreted as anywhere outside of Connecticut. So, you know, I look forward to seeing whatever, you know, appears on the